What's up, everybody? Jeffrey Bannock here. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having an amazing day. We got the chat is open and no one is chatting, but let's go ahead and make sure it's live in the group. Hope you guys are having an awesome day today. Happy Wednesday. It's already October 2nd. I can't believe how fast time is flying. All right, so we are live in the group. It looks like we're about to go live. And bam, we are live in the group. What's up, everybody? Jeffrey Bannock here. Today we're going to be doing Exodus chapter 25 through 29. The chat is open, so if you ever want to say anything, feel free to reach on out. I'd love to talk to you guys and gals or anybody that happens to watch while we're on live. So with that, let's go ahead and jump on into today's reading. So, Exodus chapter 25, offerings for the tabernacle. And for anyone that didn't know, we just left off. They were all on Mount Sinai. Moses had just gone up to be with God for 40 days and 40 nights, and that's where we sort of left off at. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites to bring me an offering. You are to receive the offering for me for everyone whose heart prompts them to give. There are offerings you can receive from them: gold, silver, and bronze, blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine linen, goat hair, ram skins dyed red, and other type of durable leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the light, spices for the anointing oil and for the fragrant incense, and onyx stones and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and breastplates." Ephod? "And I then have them make a sanctuary for me, and I will dwell among them. Make this tabernacle and all its furnishings exactly like the pattern I will show you, and then the ark. Have them make an ark of acacia wood, 2.5 cubits long, and a cubit and a half wide, and a cubit and a half high. Overlay it with pure gold, both inside and out, and make a gold mounting to it." Why does God care about gold? Like literally, why does God care about gold? The only reason man likes gold is because it's shiny. I mean, really, gold in itself has no innate or inherent value at all. So why does God care about gold? What does he care? He's like, make it gold. Like, why not silver? Why not bronze? Why not diamond? Why not dirt? You know what I mean? Like, it's literally, they're all elements or minerals. So why does God care? Why does God care about overlay it with pure gold inside out? Why? That's a man's thing, in my opinion. Like, men care about gold. Why does God care about gold? Like, and the only reason man cares about it because it's shiny, and people are like, well, cool, shiny, I want shiny, so it has value. Nothing has value until we give it value. So, I don't know. It's interesting that he would say molded in gold around it. Cast 4 gold rings for it and fasten them to its 4 feet with 2 rings on each side and 2 rings on the other. Make poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold. Insert the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark to carry it. The pole. This is for the Ark of the Covenant. This is silly them making the reference, but from like Indiana Jones. That's funny. This is the Ark of the Covenant that he is making right here. I did not realize that until just now. I sort of had an idea, but it really set in. The poles are to remain in the rings of this ark and to not be removed. Then put in the ark the tablets of the covenant law, which I will give you. In the anointment cover, make an atonement cover of pure gold, 2.5 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide. Make 2 cherubim out of hammered gold at the ends of the cover. Make 1 cherub. What is that? Cherub. There it is. Cherub on one end and 1 cherub on the other, and make the cherubim of one piece with the cover on 2 ends. The cherubim are to have their wings spread forward, overshadowing the cover with them. The cherubim are to face each other, looking towards the cover. Place the top cover of the ark and put in the ark the tablets of the covenant law that I will give you. There above the cover with the 2 cherubim that are over the covenant, the ark of the law, I will meet with you and give you all my commands for the Israelites. The tablet. Make the tablet of acacia wood. Oh, it was of wood? Huh. I thought it was stone. Make the tablet of acacia wood 2 cubits long and a cubit wide and a cubit and a half high. Overlay them with pure gold and make a gold molding around it. Also make around it a rim a handbreadth wide and put a gold molding on the rim. Make 4 gold rings for the tablets and fasten them to the 4 corners where the 4 legs are. The rings are to be close to the rim to hold the poles in. The rings are to be close to the rim to hold the poles used in carrying the tablet. Make the poles of acacia wood, overlay them with gold, and carry the tablet with them. And make its plates and dishes of pure gold, as well as its pitchers and bowls for the pouring out of offerings. Put the bread of the presence on this table. Put the bread of the presence on this table to be before me at all times. Lampshade. Make a lampshade of pure gold. Hammer out its base and shaft, and make its flower-like cups, buds, and blossoms of one piece within them. 6 branches are to extend from the sides of the lampshade, 3 on one side and 3 on the other. 3 cups shaped like the almond flowers with buds and blossoms are to be on one branch, and 3 on the next, and the same for all 6 branches extending from the lamp. And on the lamp there are to be 4 cups shaped like almond flowers with buds and blossoms. One bud shall be under the pair of branches extending from the lampshade, a second bud under the second pair, and a third bud under the third pair, 6 branches in all. The buds and branches shall all be of one piece with the lampshade, hammered out of pure gold. Then make it 7 lamps and turn them up so that they light the space in front of it. Wick trimmers and trays are to be of pure gold. A talent of pure gold is to be used for the lampshade and all its accessories. Is a talent like a weight? A talent of pure gold. See that you make them according to the pattern shown to you on the mountain. Interesting. All right. The tabernacle. 26. Make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn with a cherubim woven into them by a skilled worker. All the curtains are to be the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. Join 5 of the curtains together and do the same for the other 5. Make loops of blue material along the edges of the curtain in one set and do the same with the curtain on the other set. Make 50 loops on one curtain and 50 loops on the end curtain of the other set, and with the loops opposite each other. Make 50 gold clasps and use them to fasten the curtains together so that the tabernacle is a unit. Make curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle, 11 together. All 11 curtains are to be the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits high. Or wide, 4 cubits wide. Join 5 of the curtains together into one set and into the 6 into another. Fold the 6 curtains double so that they double at the front of the tent. Make 50 loops along the edge of the curtain in one set and along the edge of the curtain in the other set. Make 50 bronze clasps and put them in the loops to fasten the tent together as a unit. That's smart to use bronze rather than gold because gold is very malleable. So if you're using a clasp and you're using gold, there's a chance it could separate or come apart. It could be like, and then because gold is very malleable. So that would make sense why they'd use bronze. As for the additional length of the curtains, the half curtain that is left over is to hang down at the rear of the tabernacle. The tent curtains will be a cubit long along its side. What is left will hang over the sides of the tabernacle as to cover it. Make for the tent a covering of ram skin dyed red, and over a covering of the other durable, and over that a covering of the other durable leather. Make upright frames of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each frame is to be 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, with 2 projections set parallel to each other. Make all the frames of the tabernacle this way. Make 20 frames for the south side of the tabernacle. and make 40 silver bases to go with him, 2 bases for each frame, 1 in each position. For the other side, the north side of the tabernacle, make 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Make 6 frames for the far end, that is the west side of the tabernacle, and make 2 frames for the corners of the far end. At these corners, they must be double from the bottom at the way, all the way to the top, and lifted into a single ring. Both shall be like that. So there will be 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. Also make crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, and 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west and far end of the tabernacle. The center crossbar is to be extended from end to end at the middle of the frames. Overlay the frames with gold and make gold rings to hold the crossbar. Also overlay the crossbar with gold. Man, that must be heavy. You got to think about that. Gold is super heavy. So even though it's not pure, just the fact that it's overlaid with gold would just add so much weight to it. Set up the tabernacle according to the plan shown to you on the mountain. Make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen with cherubim woven into it by a skilled worker. Hang it with gold hooks with 4 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold and stand on 4 silver bases. Hang the curtain from the clasp and place the Ark of the Covenant behind the curtain. The curtain will separate the holy place from the most holy place. Put the atonement cover on the Ark of the Covenant law in the most holy place. Place the tablet outside the curtain on the north side of the tabernacle and put the lampshade opposite on the south side. For the entrance of the tent, make a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. Make gold hooks for this curtain and 5 posts of acacia wood overlaid with gold and cast 5 bronze bases for them. Exodus 27. The altar of burnt offering. This is interesting that he does all this because from what I remember, Moses comes down, they're doing false worship to idols, and he breaks them. So he's like, God's like, hey, build all this stuff to hold these guys, and then Moses is just going to be shattering them. So it's interesting that we're going this deep, too. It's also interesting that he's like giving them exact plans. Like, it needs to be this, by this, by this. I wonder why. Like, why does it need to be 3 cubits? Why can't it be 5 cubits? Now, I understand for size to make stuff fit and work, sure. But why can't, instead of 3 cubits, can it be 5? And instead of 12, why can't it be 16 or something? Why these set parameters that God came down and told Moses that this is the way it's supposed to be? It's very interesting. I also find this very interesting, and I understand why people skip over the Old Testament so much. I mean, it's very good to know. I'm appreciative of this reading and being able to be a part of this and read it all to you out loud and hear the Word of God as well as see it. But I do understand now more why people don't focus on it as much because there's really not a lot to glean from this. You know what I mean? Half of it doesn't hold true anymore because the New Testament does away with a lot of the Old Testament. So interesting. I understand. I'm looking forward. I've already started reading some of the New Testament, Matthew and different things like that already because I'm so interested to learn the Word of God and Jesus and the New Testaments, and so much of our laws and understandings now come off that. So I've been reading that off screen, and I'll read it again when we get to it here for this. But I just feel that that's so much more scripture is there that's going to actually teach you things and give you an understanding, where this is just stories that shows the power of God and the journey to to the birth of Christ. All right, the altar burnt offering. Built an altar of acacia wood, 3 cubits high. It is to be square, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits wide. Make a horn at each of the corners so that the horns and the altar are of one piece, and overlay the altar with bronze. Man, that would be a pain. I mean, I don't know how good their stuff is to be able to overlay stuff with bronze. I wonder what that looked like. Like, would they dip it? Would they get sheets of bronze and overlay it and tack them onto it? Or I wonder what that looked like back then. Like, how would they actually overlay an altar, with bronze. I would have to think it'd probably be sheets and like tacked on to some degree. You know what I mean? So it's like overlaid. Make all the utensils of bronze, its pots to remove the ashes, and its shovels, sprinkling bowls, meat forks, and fire pans. Make a grating for it, a bronze network, and make a bronze ring at each of the four corners of the network. Put it under the ledge of the altar so that it's halfway up the altar. Make poles of acacia wood for the altar and overlay them with bronze. I hope acacia wood's a lot around here because, like, if there's not, they're going to have to go far to be able to find this stuff. You know what I mean? The poles are to be inserted into the ring so they will be on two sides of the altar when it's carried. Make the altar hollow out of boards. It is made just as you are shown, and it is to be made just as you are shown on the mount. The courtyard. Make a courtyard for the tabernacle. The south side shall be 100 cubits long, and it's to have curtains of finely twisted linen with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases, and with silver hooks and bands on the poles. The north side shall be 100 cubits long, and it is to have curtains with 20 posts and 20 bronze bases with silver hooks and bands on the posts. The west end of the courtyard shall be 50 cubits wide, and shall have curtains with 10 posts and 10 bases. On the east side, toward the sunrise, the courtyard shall be 50 cubits wide. 15 curtains, 15 cubits long, are to be on one side of the entrance, with 3 posts and 3 bases, and a curtain 15 cubits long to be the other side, with 3 posts and 3 bases. For the entrance to the courtyard, provide a curtain 20 cubits long of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn in finely twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer, with 4 posts and 4 bases. All the posts around the courtyard are to have silver bands and hooks and bronze bases. The courtyard shall be 100 cubits long and 50 cubits wide, with curtains of finely twisted linen 5 cubits high, with bronze bases. All the other articles used in the service of the tabernacle, whatever their function, including all the tent pegs for it, and all those for the courtyard, would be bronze. Wow, even the pegs have to be made of bronze. Well, I don't think that iron has been made yet. I don't think they have iron yet. I think we're not in the Iron Age yet. So bronze is probably the most strong metal that they have right now. So that would make sense why the pegs are to be bronze. Oil for the lampshade. Command the Israelites to bring you clear oil of pressed olives for the light, so that the lamps are to be kept burning. In the tent of meeting, outside the curtain that shields the ark of the covenant law, Aaron and his sons are to keep the lamps burning before the Lord from evening till morning. This is to be a lasting ordinance. Among the Israelites for generations to come. Exodus 28. I'm just zipping right along these guys. Exodus 28. The priestly garments. Have Aaron your brother brought to you from among the Israelites, along with his sons Nadab, Abihu, Lesar, and Ismar. Ismar, so they can serve me as priests. Make sacred garments for your brother Aaron, and give him dignity and honor. Tell all the skilled workers to whom you have given wisdom in such manners that they are to make garments for Aaron in his consideration, so he may serve me as priest. These are the garments that they are to make: a breastplate, a ephod, a robe, a woven tunic, a turban, and a sash. They are to make these sacred garments for your brother Aaron and his sons, so they may serve me as priests. Have them use gold and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn and fine linen. The ephod. The ephod of gold and of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and of finely twisted linen, the work of skilled hands. It is to have 2 shoulder pieces attached to it's attached to 2 of its corners, so it can be fastened. Its skillful woven waistband is to be like of one piece with the ephod and made with gold, and with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen. He likes blue, purple, and scarlet. Interesting. I mean, they're pretty colors. It's a good color to go together. But I wonder again why blue, purple, and scarlet, and like why does God care? You know what I mean? Like, times back then, blue, purple, and scarlet, were probably more expensive because they had to be dyed, unlike the browns and regular tans. So they were more expensive. Blues and purples were darker colors. They probably lasted longer and stuff. And I know that they were assisted to royalty and stuff like that. But I'm just curious, like, what does God care? Like, if it's purple, blue, and scarlet, like, who cares? Why not yellow, orange, and red? I mean, like, or something. I don't know. Just interesting. Take 2 onyx stones and engrave them on them. Engrave the names of the sons of Israel in the order of their birth. 6 names on one stone, and the remaining 6 on the other. Engrave the names of the sons of Israel on the 2 stones, the way that a gem cutter engraves a seal. Then mount the stones in gold filigree settings, and fasten them to the shoulder pieces of the ephod as memorial stones for the sons of Israel. Aaron is to bear the names on his shoulders as a memorial before the Lord. Make gold filigree settings and 2 braided chains of pure gold like a rope, and attach the chains to the settings. The breastpiece. Fashion a breastpiece for making decisions. Fashion a breastpiece for making decisions is the work of skilled hands. Make it like the ephod, of gold and of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finely twisted linen. It is to be square, a span long, and a span wide, and folded double. Then mount 4 rows of precious stones to it. The first row shall be cornelian, crystallite, and beryl. The second row shall be turquoise, lapis, lazuli, and emerald. The third row shall be jacinth, agate, and amethyst. The fourth row shall be topaz, onyx, and jasper. Mount them in gold filigree settings. There are to be 12 stones, one to each names of the son of Israel, each engraved like a seal with the name of one of the 12 tribes. For the breastplate, make gold chains of for the breastplate piece, make braided chains of pure gold like a rope. Make 2 gold rings for it, and fasten the 2 corners of the breastpiece. Fasten the 2 rings to the chain. Oh my gosh! Fasten the 2 chains to the rings of the corners of the breastpiece. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying that. And the other ends of the chains of the 2 settings, attach them to the shoulder pieces of the ephod for the front. Make 2 gold rings and attach them to the other 2 corners of the breastplate on the inside edge to the ephod. Make 2 more gold rings and attach them to the bottom of the shoulder pieces on the front of the ephod. Close onto the seams just above the waistband of the ephod. The rings of the breastpiece are to be tied to the rings of the ephod with blue cord, connecting it to the waistband so that the breastpiece will not swing out from the ephod. Whenever Aaron enters the holy place, he will bear the names of the sons of Israelites over his hearts on the breastpiece of decision as a continual memorial for the Lord. Also put the Urim and the Thummim in the breastpiece, so that may be over Aaron's heart whenever he enters the presence of the Lord. Thus Aaron will always bear the means of making decisions for the Israelites over his heart for the Lord. Other priestly garments. Make the robes of the ephod entirely of blue cloth, with the opening for the head in its center. There should be a woven edge like a collar around the opening, so that it will not tear. Make pomegranates of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. Pomegranate. Right? Pomegranates of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn around the hem of the robe, with gold bells between them. The gold bells and the pomegranates are to alternate around the hem of the robe. Thus Aaron must wear it when he ministers. The sound of the bells will be heard when he enters the holy place before the Lord, and when he comes out, so that he will not die. Make a plate of pure gold and engrave it as on a seal, holy to the Lord. Fasten a blue cord around it to attach it to the turban. It is to be on the front of the turban. It will be on Aaron's forehead, and he will bear the guilt involved in the sacred gifts the Israelites concentrate. Whatever their gifts may be, it will be Aaron's forehead continually, so it will be acceptable to the Lord. Weave the tunic of fine linen and make the turban of fine linen. The sash is to be the work of an embroiderer. Make tunics, sashes, and caps for Aaron's sons to give them dignity and honor. After you put these cloths on your brother Aaron and his sons, anoint and ordain them, consecrate them so they may serve me as priests. Make linen garments as the cover for the body and reaching from the waist to the hip, as a covering for the body reaching from the waist to the thigh. Aaron and his sons must wear them whenever they enter the tent of meeting or approach the altar to minister to in the holy place, so that they will not incur guilt and die. This is to be an ordinance for Aaron and his descendants. Chapter 29, last chapter. Man, that must be heavy. All that stuff. You've got gold, you've got rocks, you've got all types of stuff on. Imagine what wearing that garb felt like for Aaron. You talk about the weight of God. It's like, man, you got all this gold, rocks, you've got all this stuff on you. It must have been quite an outfit. Consecration of the priest. This is what you are to do to consecrate them, so that they may serve me as priests. Take a young bull and 2 rams without defect. And from the finest wheat flour make round loaves without yeast, thick loaves without yeast and with olive oil mixed in, and thin loaves without yeast and brushed with olive oil. Put them in a basket and present them along with the bull and 2 rams. Then bring Aaron and his sons to the entrance of the tent of meeting and wash them with water. Take the garments and dress Aaron with a tunic, the robe of the ephod, and the ephod itself, and the breastpiece. Fasten the ephod on him with its skilled woven waistband. Put the tunic on his head and attach a sacred emblem to the turban. Put the turban on his head and attach the sacred emblem to the turban. Take the anointed oil and anoint him by pouring it on his head. Bring his sons and dress them in tunics and fasten caps on them. Then tie sashes on Aaron and his sons, the priest is in theirs by a lasting ordinance. Then you shall ordain Aaron and his sons. Bring the bull to the front of the meeting of tent, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands on its head. Slaughter it in the Lord's presence at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Take some of the bull's blood and pour it on the horns of the altar with your finger, and pour the rest of it at the base of the altar. Then take all the fat from the internal organs and the long lobe of the liver and both kidneys with fat on them, and burn them on the altar. Like, what does that matter? Again, like, I don't understand why God is like, oh, dude, yeah, you're going to take the fat, you're going to take the internal organs, you're going to take a long lobe of the liver, and because there's 3, it's like 3 lobes, and then both kidneys with fat on them and burn them. And that's like, the God's like, dude, cool. That's where it's at. I appreciate that offering. Like, I don't understand why. I mean, there must be something more. Maybe the fat represents health or wealth or something, or abundance. I just don't know. I just find it's interesting that, what does God care? Like, what does God care about a liver or kidneys? Like, why? Why does he care? Why not the brain? Why not the heart? Why the kidneys? Why the liver? I don't understand. I really don't understand. I wish I knew more. Because there's got to be meaning behind it, I would think. There has to be some type of meaning or something. So anyway, but burn the bull's flesh and hide and its intestines outside the camp. It is a sin offering. Sin offering. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Take one of the rams, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands on his head. Slaughter it and take the blood and splash it against the sides of the altar. Cut the ram into pieces and wash the internal organs and the legs, putting them with the head and the other pieces. Then burn the entire ram on the altar. It is a burnt offering to the Lord, a pleasing aroma, a food offering presented to the Lord. Take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons shall lay their hands on its head, slaughter it, take some of its blood, and put it on the lobes of the right ears of Aaron and his sons on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the big toes of their right feet. Then splash the blood against the side of the altar. And take some of the blood from the altar and some of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it on Aaron and his garments, and his son and their sons and their garments. Then he and his sons and their garments should be consecrated. Take from this ram the fat tail, the fat on the internal organs, the long lobe of the liver, the 2 kidneys with fat on them, and the right thigh. This is the ram for ordination. From the basket of the bread made without yeast, which is before the Lord, take one round loaf, one thick loaf, and one thick loaf with oil mixed in, and one thin loaf. Put all these in the hands of Aaron and his sons, and have them wave them before the Lord as a wave offering. Then take them from their hands and burn them on the altar along with the burnt offerings for a pleasing aroma to the Lord, a food offering presented to the Lord. After you take the breast of the ram before Aaron's ordination, wave it before the Lord as a wave offering, and it will be your share. Okay. Consecrate those of the ordained ram that belonged to Aaron and his son, the breast that was waved and the thigh that was presented. This is always to be a perpetual share from the Israelites for Aaron and his sons. It is a contribution. It is the contribution the Israelites are to make to the Lord for their fellowship offerings. Aaron's sacred garments will belong to his descendants so that they can anoint and ordain them. The sons who succeed him as priest and come to the tent of meeting to minister in the holy place is to wear them 7 days. Take the ram for the ordination and cook the meat in the sacred place at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Aaron and his sons are to eat the meat of the ram and the bread that is in the basket. They are to eat offerings by which atonement is made for the ordination and consecration, and no one else may eat them because they are sacred. And if any of the meat of the ordination ram or bread is left over till morning, burn it up. It must not be eaten because it is sacred. Do for Aaron and his sons everything I've commanded you, taking 7 days to ordain them. Sacrifice a bull each day as a sin offering to make atonement. Purify the altar by making atonement for it and anointing it to consecrate it. For 7 days, make an atonement for the altar and consecrate it. Then the altar will be most holy, and whatever touches it will be holy. This is what you offer on the altar regularly each day. 2 lambs a year old. Offer one in the morning and the other at twilight. With the first lamb, offer a tenth of a ephah of the finest flour mixed in the quarter of a hin of oil from pressed olives, and a quarter of hin of wine as a drink offering. Sacrifice the other lamb at twilight with the same grain offering and drink offering as in the morning, a pleasing aroma, a food offering presented to the Lord. For the generations to come, this burnt offering is to be made regularly at the entrance of the the tent of meeting before the Lord. I will meet with you and speak to you. There also I will meet with the Israelites, and the place will be consecrated by my glory. I will consecrate the tent of meeting and the altar, and will consecrate Aaron and his sons to serve me as priests. Then I will dwell among the Israelites and be their God. They will know that I am the Lord their God, who brought them out of Egypt so they might dwell among them. I am the Lord their God. Okay, so today we basically just went over all the rules of how the Ark of the Covenant was supposed to be made, how Aaron and his priests are supposed to look like or wear, the different ways that they're supposed to do their offerings and rituals. Pretty straightforward. A lot of rules today. It was pretty much just all rules and or his laws. So anyway, thanks everybody for being here. Another amazing day. Happy Wednesday, October 2nd. Can't wait for tomorrow. I'm looking forward to this every day. Thanks everybody for being here. Love each and every one of you. God bless. Peace. I'm out of here.